broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Don't do it. Stop lying, people.
Just the finger, just all right there.
Just stop lying. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the AFTERBUZZ TV Catfish After Show. I am your host, Jeff Thurm. If you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments below. We want to hear what you're thinking. Same thing if you're listening on iTunes. And as always, make sure you guys keep the conversation going using the hashtag ABTVCatfish on Twitter. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jeff_Thurm. As you can tell, Lem is not here today, but I am still joined in studio by the boys.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? It's your man Jimmy V. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. We are live at Be Your Own Dad. Hit us up. We want to hear from you.
You guys can get at me at Nicholas Grava on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Before we get started, I want to do two quick things. First, I want to shout out to the people that left comments on last week's. If you guys leave comments, we will shout you guys out. So we do want to hear from you. So first, and apologize if I mess up your name, but Mary Chuli, Snowy Wahlberg, and Joseph Boza. Thank you guys very much for your thoughts.
He's great. He comments on a lot of other shows.
Nice, that's great.
Cool.
And also, big news. Next week, we have a very exciting guest joining us in studio. Next week, we are going to be joined by a casting director that casts catfish, and he's going to give us all the inside tips on how they find their catfishers, how they cast the show, a bunch of the behind-the-scenes secrets that you guys are dying to know. So definitely make sure to tune in next week, and also send us any questions that you guys have. Use the hashtag ABTVCatfish, like I said before, and send us your questions, and hopefully he'll answer some of what you guys are thinking. So next week's going to be an awesome episode here.
It's going to be exciting.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But we have
get some dirt.
a very exciting episode to talk about tonight. I like tonight's episode.
Great episode.
I did too.
We had a little bit of a double catfish situation going on, and it was the first time where I didn't really know what was going to happen.
Me either. That's what I liked about the whole episode is I was questioning it. And I really believed that both of them didn't know. They both weren't. They didn't have it figured out. Even the girl that was like, I think she sent me 2 different names, this and that. Yeah. She had no idea what was going on. I thought the genuineness of that was really attractive to watch.
Yeah, walking around the park and not having any idea who you're looking for.
That be?
It was so great.
Did you guys get I got secondhand? I was nervous.
Yeah,
walking through that park with her. She was like, "Hi, me. I don't know who's that. Is it the guy?" I thought it was the guy. First of all, not to jump quick, but I thought they said there's a guy. I was like, damn, it's probably that person. No, not quite.
Crazy. So let's start off with the episode. We meet Ayissha. She's 22 years old. She's from San Bernardino, California, and she meets a girl named Sydney online. Sydney is also from California, but she is living in Texas for school. And this is about 3 years ago, and they start texting, and eventually they grew to love each other, and Ayissha says, "This is what you dream about in the movies."
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely is, because if you can have a person you can talk to all night long, which she said that's that's exactly what they have, that is something you want to keep. So
I don't know. I have to say, I've never had an experience where I can say I love somebody that I have never met before,
right,
or seen before. Maybe it's just because I haven't had that yet. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe. Have either of you ever experienced anything where you're I can say, and it doesn't have to be in a sexual way, but just that you care and really love for someone that you've never met, FaceTimed with, or anything?
Not that I've never met. I have liked people that I was talking to on the internet, and I fell in love with someone who turned out to be a crazy person and was not the person I fell in love with.
Had you met them before?
Yeah.
Okay, you did.
I met and we dated.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I saw all the true colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
And got my heart broken. So feel bad for me, listeners.
Nice. That sucks.
And so I kind of sometimes feel like this person catfished me in real life by putting on a fake persona.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, I'm doing fine without you.
Hey.
But you're not listening because you don't support me. So, so going on. So welcome to my therapy session. Thank you guys so much for being here.
I know, right? I'll say I was actually pretty close. I did meet someone off of Instagram. We got to talking every day, and then I said we need to do some type of video phone or something, and then she said no, and then I was like, I'm not trying to be a victim of catfish.
Yes.
Let's just do it, get out the way. And she says no, bye, and then that was the last time I ever heard of her. So right, yeah,
it's weird, you know what, like I do, and I was telling you earlier a second ago, like I got a weird friend request on Facebook today. A person that had 3 pictures, but they were all like really tiny blurry thumbnail images. They had only one mutual friend with me, and they had nothing on their wall. Sketchy.
Weird.
How do they find you? Yeah.
But I think there's a lot. I just think the market is filled. The catfish market is really saturated at the moment.
True that.
So an interesting thing about tonight's episode was that Ayissha was the one that says she doesn't like to video chat. So she never even wanted to video chat with Sydney.
Weird.
Very weird.
But I guess to each their own.
Yeah, so she falls in love. Then we find out Sydney moved back to California. They tried to meet up. And this is when things start getting sketchy. When she's back in California, she's in LA, and she's not willing to meet. So they start fighting. And they start having the most aggressive talks they've ever had. They go from like crazy in love to fighting. And they decide to stop talking.
Yeah.
Then, randomly Sydney comes back into her life. And they start talking again, and eventually Sydney finds out that Ayissha kissed another girl at a party.
Yeah. In a weird... So when I found out that piece of information, I was thinking back to, you guys have told me about past catfish that were friends.
Yeah.
I'm saying this gotta be a friend that's at the party. How else would anyone really know that?
Like, how would she know?
That's creepy.
But I don't think she did know. I still don't.
She only knew so at the beginning I was like, oh, she knows that she kissed him. I think she only knew that she was at a party.
Right.
Yeah,
that's all she knew. But in the case of like that scenario, I believe that she knew that she did more.
Because I think Catfish tried to make it seem like she had friended real friends of Ayisha's, so people in Ayisha's life were reporting back to her, and I don't think that was happening.
Unless it was like the scenario of, okay, if we're at a party together, she friends you upload like pictures of me at the party, and she sees that. That's it, because I agree. I don't see it as like Ayisha's friends are going home and being like, hey, girl, I don't really know. Guess what she was doing tonight? I don't think that either.
I don't think so either. So eventually, Ayissha and Sydney decides she's ready to come clean, and she says, you're not who I think I am, so I'm gonna send you a real photo, and I'm Whitney. And so then Ayissha says that she loves Whitney still, but she can't trust her. So Ayisha's still in love with this person.
They definitely have a strong emotional connection there. Definitely do.
At least one side is.
You know what's weird to me is like, I feel like a lot of the episodes I've seen in Catfish are both parties or most of them are like, there's a reason. Maybe they have a little they're socially awkward or they're uncomfortable. But Ayissha she's
hot.
She's really hot and she's fully functional. She seemed okay. And I'm like, why is this girl so dependable on this internet relationship when she could just open her door at school, do whatever, and like there's real relationships right there.
And I mean, that's kind of what the real Whitney comes out to say later. Is like, I'm jealous that you are able to be out and that you have friends and the people supporting your life. And so that's where the cyberbullying came in, which is weird, and we'll get to. So Whitney comes out as Whitney, and we're in this weird place where Ayissha,
what?
Ayissha,
just say it.
So Ayissha knows that she's being catfished.
I think she really believes. No, actually, yeah, she knows because she ends up figuring out that the Whitney isn't the girl in the pictures is not Whitney. So yeah, and technically she knew she was being catfished, but I think she always just had this weird positivity and hopefulness that it was gonna like be okay.
Right.
I don't think she wanted to accept it.
True.
Definitely not. So she was just double catfished.
Yeah.
And this girl is still in love with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ayisha's still madly in love. So
I mean, the only thing I could think of is if this is her first love.
Right.
If this is her first experience with love and that's why she's so, hung up on it.
Yep.
Other than that, I really, unless there's just something about Ayissha we don't know.
Right. They didn't really go into any of the psychological background
Right.
with her like they do in others.
Because that's very true. Because I think it's because she seems so sane.
Yeah.
Is that they didn't try to pry, but maybe.
But we met no friends. We met no family.
That's right.
She lived in a
Exactly.
really nice
Really
house.
cool house.
Like, I don't know. It had me questioning, what's going on. The only thing I did like is that she wasn't in contact with her all the time. She was like, we just always bounce back to each other. I feel like that's really realistic. You know what I mean? You have those people. I have those people in my life. It's like every 6, 7, maybe a year, you like restart talking again.
Gotcha. The cyclers.
That's
the
what
cyclers.
it is. I never had a word.
Cyclers for days. So Nev and Max travel to San Bernardino, and we find out a lot more about this story, and it gets kind of interesting. We find out that Sydney claims to have had a twin brother, and this twin brother would say things to Ayissha to hurt her. Mm-hmm. And people in Sydney's life were harassing Ayissha in order, and then Whitney was making, or Sydney/Whitney was making her feel better by like saying that it's going to be okay and sticking up for her.
When I first heard of the twin brother, I felt like maybe that person was looking out for her in the long run, because she knew she, whoever the person is, they knew what the
truth was.
Exactly. So they were in the wrong, and I think on the low she was trying to help her out, but she had to be mean first.
My head jumped right to, after I thought it was okay, it's a friend because she knows the stuff at a party, my next thought was maybe it's the twin brother doing the catfish and there's no sister. That was my next thing.
Interesting.
Clearly I was wrong.
Interesting thinking.
So she there was a good point in time where I thought Ayissha was catfishing herself.
No way.
And that like Nev and
That
Max
would be so epic.
Like it got to a point where it was like there were so many people, there's so many different Facebooks involved, there were so many things.
Markeith, James, Eric, Whitney, Sydney.
I kind of thought like maybe she had fooled like the casting directors or something.
Could you imagine that?
But
they wouldn't even air that episode if that happened, I don't think. They'd be so ashamed.
I had that same feeling because when they were like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. I think she was like, they might be on to me or something.
When she got... So Ayissha, Max, and Nev go through Whitney's Facebook.
That's right.
And they text a bunch of people, and they get the exact same text message back, and then they call Ayissha, and Ayissha is like, yeah, I got a text too. I was like, bitch is lying. I was like, it's her. Yeah, I looked. And then it wasn't until they went, there was
what about when they went out, is it until they went out on the porch and called Whitney? Is that when you find out, like, okay, it's not Ayissha?
I guess at some point I kind of thought that it just probably wasn't it, but there was a good point in time where I was at least kind of hoping. I was like, that would be
crazy.
a great twist. But
that'd been a good episode.
The casting director, I talked to him a little bit. Yeah. People have tried to do that. People have tried to catfish them, and he said people are really, really savvy, and people have like applied and tried to trick them, but they catch them. So
I'm excited to really talk with the casting director about what they do and do not do in the process. That's really exciting.
So Whitney was Markeith, and she was James, and she was Eric.
She was everybody.
Let me tell you, she should have been getting paid for all the work. Think about the hours. And each one of them had like thousands of friends. It wasn't like, oh, this has got 10 pages of stale. But what? And then you give the same response back, though, to Nev when you're answering. It's like, you're so good at this for so long, and then you decide to literally just give a stock response back.
And how did she have so many phone numbers?
The phone numbers.
I think you can make phone numbers on like
you can have Google Voice numbers,
So were they all Google Voice? I mean, she was able to text all through that?
No, I thought they were...
Used to hire her.
Wait, what do you mean phone number? Oh, when she was responding back with
back.
I thought it was a Facebook message that she was responding back with, but no, you're right. It was.
Well,
that's why they kept saying, "Hey, this is Jane. Hey, this is." They were stating who it was.
Mm-hmm. I don't know Whitney.
Homegirl's got a multi-line phone in her house. That's crazy.
A multi-line in her house?
I don't know.
She doesn't
how it works. I don't even have a landline. This is 2015.
No, exactly.
I don't know how that works.
So this is this was an interesting one because we usually discuss, the process it takes for them to find people and the special technology that they have to use, and they Google image search, and they didn't do any of that this time.
Nice and easy.
They look up the phone number, and they find the phone number is connected to a girl with the exact same first and middle name as the girl that was using the fake pictures.
Right.
And they find out she lives in Texas. And when Nev gives her a call, I was like, oh my God, like, she's not going to do this.
I had that same thought, and I'm like, no, they can't let this happen. Because how long do you think that phone call was for her to flip that quick? Like, to us, it was 30 seconds.
Right, it wasn't that short.
It could not have been that he really had to talk her into it.
Because there is a lot of psychological stuff and therapeutic stuff that goes into it. He even says, like, we can help you. We're here to help make this okay. And then they always make the person feel, bad for what they're doing. Yeah. And it's like, we're here for you. So there's got, I don't know. I mean, because
then when she was like, but I'm scared, I was like, oh, he's got her now.
Yeah,
because scared is something they can work with, but no, they can't.
Well, the editors did a great job cutting her "I'm scared" to
Whitney.
She's like, "I'm scared," and the other girl was like, "I'm scared." He's like, "I can tell you're both scared." It's like that was perfect.
That was great. That was.
I wish that happened at the exact same time. So they get on the plane. They decide to. She finally says that she's willing to meet. They get on a plane.
Love that she had never been on a plane
before. It's Aisha's very first plane. So great. I wish we learned more about Ayissha.
I would have loved to know more about Ayissha.
We really don't know too much about her exactly.
We know nothing about her.
Should we bring her? We should find her and bring her on. She's near here.
She's near here.
No friends.
We know nothing about her family, nothing about her friends, nothing about her struggle with coming out. She's clearly from a wealthy-ish family.
Yeah, because she dropped out of school. And she's still got that beautiful house.
I mean, that house, is that a family house? I mean...
No, it was too neat to be a family house. That was just her.
Unless she's an only child.
I guess.
She's affording that on her own. We know nothing about what she does.
Nope. Actually, no. She works as a manager in retail.
A retail manager.
So I think we should hit up all the malls and start to look ASAP already.
She has a shitload of tattoos, and tattoos are very expensive.
Yes, exactly.
She's got a sick piercing. What do you call it?
2 piercings.
What do you call that?
Yeah, what's that called?
She's got the middle one, and she's got the side one.
Yeah. If y'all know what this piercing is, comment in the chat roll right
here. Yeah, that's all we want to hear about, though. Really don't comment about anything else.
No, if you watch the show, I don't care. I don't want to know. I think that I wonder if it was a choice to like cut out her background info or if really it wasn't shared. I can't really believe that they would go there and not get any.
No, they had to have gotten it.
Right? But why not share it?
Time.
Just doesn't have any.
Something to
not
ask
influencing the story as much.
Yeah.
Next week.
But then it's interesting seeing that she's never been on a plane. Not that like being on a plane says anything to do. It's like she's never traveled. Her family, isn't wealthy enough to. I don't know. So would have been nice to know a little bit more about her, but
Aisha's landing face was really funny. I thought. She was like I never flying doesn't like it's never been a fear of mine, but I forget that some people really are petrified, and it's kind of a terrifying thing to think about. It's
really terrifying.
I got some kind of amusement from it.
So Whitney decides that she is willing to meet them at the park. I really like this line. Ayissha said, she goes, we're about to come face to the face with the devil.
Yeah.
And then they go, at this point, anyone could be her.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But we have no clue what this person looks like. Age, race, gender.
No. Because we've seen girls sound like guys sound like girls on the phone. We really had no idea. That's why I thoroughly love park meetups. I think they should always be a park meetup, and they should have a busy park, so you're always questioning it. I'm not kidding. I had anxiety while she was walking in there because I didn't know what to expect. That's why I love this episode the most. Had no idea what to expect.
I wish we had seen them go up to the wrong person.
That'd have been hilarious.
Hey, so Whitney,
well, imagine seeing the whole crew like roll up and you're in the park just chilling and they come up to you or something. You ain't about to sign off on that pamphlet.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been so funny.
It's a septum piercing. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you. Shout out, Derek. Okay.
You are the number one, the real MVP.
Is anybody else commenting, by the way?
Bethany said, hi, Nick. And that's it.
Hi, Bethany.
Hi, Bethany.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah. So just Dex.
By the way, if you're listening and don't know what we're doing, we have the chat room open live on the YouTube site. There's a chat room, so if you're listening / watching live, we can live chat, which you guys should do and listen every week.
Yeah.
So they meet up at the park, and we find out Whitney is a 26-year-old. Mm-hmm. She has 8 to 10 fake profiles, so she's consistent. We can say that.
Yeah.
But she doesn't remember all of their names, which is interesting.
Which is a lie.
And she seemed pretty genuine about the fact that she wasn't dating anybody else.
I didn't believe it.
At the time. Really?
I don't believe it. You got 8 to 10 profiles.
And you're not dating anyone.
With a lot of active users. Although, first of all, I don't believe that you can say you're dating when you've never met somebody. So I would agree that they weren't dating on that case. But was she doing something to the same level of what she was doing to Ayissha? Yes, I think so. You don't think?
I don't know.
You think she was really like, oh, Ayissha got my heart. That's it. One and only. No, she's a catfisher. She got 10 profiles. She's being guys, girls, everything.
I don't think she wanted to admit it on TV.
Yeah. I gotta say, for how, as catfish go, I wonder if you guys disagree, she seemed pretty, I don't want to say sane, but yeah, I could understand with her. It didn't and when she says that she's not doing it anymore at the end, I believed that.
Yeah, she wasn't crazy.
No.
She wasn't trying to be mean. You know, the insults, it was interesting. It was like there was kind of this like bipolar aspect to her, because she was saying like, I was really jealous of you, so I wanted to be mean and I took my anger out on you, but I also wanted to be a supportive girlfriend and stand up for you. So it's like there's this weird like, I fucking hate you, but I fucking love you, and it's like being all those people inside her head. But yeah, I don't think she was too crazy as far as other catfishers go. Like Miss
Tracy
Barbie
from Maryland, which I have a great story for the viewers. So I was on Facebook scrolling down my personal timeline, which I'm from Boston, Mass, so I don't even know how she would end up on my timeline, but she does, and it is a video of her speaking with her new boyfriend of a day, and they're talking about, we're gonna have great interracial babies, or I don't know. And she kept saying in every status, I'm famous. If you guys saw my show on MTV, I'm famous.
Oh my God.
So somebody, we need to help her.
Yeah, Tracy Barbie needs help. So anyway, in regards to Crazy Catfish goes, this one was a little bit more sane, and then we get into her story, and I thought it was really interesting to hear, you know, the fact that, you know, she had a lot of trouble coming out, and she was beat up, and people forced her to be with guys, and going on the internet and making fake profiles was how she found ways to be her real self. And that's sad.
That's sad, and I get, but here's my thing. It's really sad, but is it like an excuse for what she did to Ayissha? No, and I think that's what they finally got across to her by the end of it. And also, like I said, to a lot of the catfishers that we see every episode have a reason. A lot of them, besides maybe Tracy, I don't know, but a lot of them
Tracy's
have
reason was like fame.
Yeah, exactly. Other than like, she's lonely, she doesn't know what's happening, and people are being bullied in life, so she's gonna go on and try to become a different person. I can understand that. And that's why I really did feel for her as a cat. Was Whitney her real name after all, or did she just name herself that as her new identity?
I think Whitney was her real name, because that was the name that her phone number was attached to.
True.
So I think,
Joseph just commented in the chat, and what's up, Joseph, first of all, and second of all, he said, I keep saying it, but there's more to this story than meets the eye. And yeah, that's what we're saying too. I think it's on Ayisha's side, because why was it that she would not admit the whole hospital story? Not
Which we actually
Whitney's story
over too.
Yeah. So yeah, that was,
I mean, okay, so this is a part in your relationship that when Ayisha's going to midterms, suddenly Whitney's like, listen, I have a tumor, I have to go to the hospital on the same day that she's supposed to be in class taking midterms. And she's asking her she wants her with her, she needs her with her, but yet she never tells her where. So Ayisha goes on her own to find the hospital. She can't find it because it's a fake name, and she ends up failing and then dropping out of school for that reason. And then suddenly when she's confronting her, and Whitney's like, no, I don't remember that, that makes me think she's had multiple people and she's telling
that's a really good point.
Or she's blatantly lying, which I think she's smart enough not to do. I think she really is just putting up a lot of lies.
She's made up so many lies she can't even keep track anymore.
That's
she
it.
couldn't even keep
That's
track
it.
of any of the names.
That's it. Yeah.
She was like, I don't even remember their names. I have so many profiles.
It's like, you remember the emails and passwords, but not the names. I don't believe it.
Yeah, because on your computer, Facebook logs you out.
Right. And if you have 8 to 10 different profiles.
I can't even remember one.
Me neither. I have it preset or else I would not get in ever. She said, I did like Ayisha's quote. She said, taking parts of me to make herself whole. Mm-hmm. Which is what she was doing. She was kind of living through her and her experiences. So it's crazy the bond you can really make with this person that you've never met and really don't even know.
And Ayisha even said that she had met other girls and no one even compared to the love that Whitney showed her. So I thought it was a really sweet moment when they were, talking again, that Ayisha said to Whitney, like, listen, you're a great girl. Without even seeing you, you made me fall in love with you.
Yeah.
Like, you have what it takes.
Which means she's got some serious game.
That's true. Honestly, I think it's harder to make someone fall in love with you over text and phone than it is in person.
Definitely. Well, that's what I think.
My written skills are not that good. I think on personality and no written skills. So I don't know. I think that is a testament to. So I thought that was a really sweet moment too.
Yeah. So there's more that we don't know about Ayisha. There's more. There's some, because Ayisha, to be so vulnerable and to be able to fall in love so hard for her. I don't know. It's just so interesting.
My prediction, I guess, for what it is that she just Whitney came into Ayisha's life at a really vulnerable time when she wasn't maybe sharing her truth with a lot of people, and that's why she was like the one and only. And I think it happens to a lot of the catfishers, that they just come in their life at a certain time and then they're just hooked on that. Other than that, how else I can't justify it any other way unless there's something else I'm really missing.
I don't know. But Ayisha, said, I can't fault her. I have flaws of my own. Which, like, this girl's so real and so like down
cool.
to earth. She's cool.
I agree.
So if nothing else, Ayisha, I hope the show gets you a real girlfriend because you do deserve someone cool. Because you are cool. You're good looking. You seem really sweet.
You got a septum piercing.
You got a dope septum piercing.
Add that to the name.
So, yeah, it was interesting. But they haven't talked since. When they do the follow-up, we find out that they haven't talked since.
I think that's healthy.
I think that's healthy. Yeah.
I think that's like sort of one of the better... Because it wasn't like, we don't talk. They were just both sort of accepting that they were a mistake on each other's parts or whatever it was, and now they move on.
And they both said in their final confrontation, they said that they'll always be there for each other.
Exactly.
And Whitney said something kind of that I really liked. She was like, I'm going to wait for you to come to me. She was like, when you want to come to me, I'll be here, but I'm not going to reach out to you.
Yeah.
And that puts the ball in Ayisha's court if she wants to keep a conversation going or not.
What if... Because according to their past, they said they would start to talk and they'd stop and they start to talk and they stop. What if she already knows that she always comes crawling back?
Maybe.
It's a safe bet to bank on, honestly. I mean, even after all the craziness, we are creatures of habit, so I wouldn't be surprised if sometime, even if it was just a checking in text, how are you, what's going on?
We'll see. Hopefully we'll see at the reunion show.
I would love to see them at the reunion
This would be a good one.
But Whitney's going to the Navy.
That's right, yeah. Enlisting.
So,
good for her.
And she has not used any fake profiles since. She doesn't use any social media since. Did you believe that?
I do.
Do you believe it?
I think so.
I think she might low-key have a few that she just, like, not really catfishes, but just feels the water. You know what I mean?
She'll be feeling the water of the Navy.
Yeah, and that's why she goes... That's what I would honestly say. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, do you guys have any other points you want to bring up about this?
No, except I want to do some deeper diving into Ayisha.
Okay. Anyone in the chat room have anything to say?
Shout out to everybody in the chat room.
Yes, thank you guys for watching and chatting. And if you didn't catch us live, make sure to comment below so we can talk and continue that conversation.
So I think that wraps it up for this week. If you guys tune in next week, you guys are going to get some cool information as far as the casting process and some behind-the-scenes production things. Make sure to keep the conversation going by using the hashtag ABTV Catfish. We love to hear from you guys. Comment on YouTube, comment on iTunes, tweet at us, whatever. We'd like to hear from you guys about your thoughts about the episode of Catfish and how we're doing too. So you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jeff_Thurm. That's THURM.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BeYourOwnDad. Hit me up.
And you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Nicholas Grava.
Until next week, stay safe out there.
Holla.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.